Hello again, Peabody here in the reflection. We're going to do a quick update video for Yellow Day about bones and where things are at. Right now you're seeing my reflection in the kiosk. That's why it looks a little strange. Like I'm trying to do some kind of ninja thing. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is strictly just a little technical update for people in the Lotus universe. This is not some type of advertisement video or anything, because what you're going to see here is a daily build. A lot of pieces missing, a lot of things incomplete, so don't want anybody to think that this is supposed to represent some kind of release. Obviously software engineering is hard and it takes some time to get things right, and nobody's claiming that we have somehow magically gotten everything done super fast. So just giant disclaimer, this is intended for people who've already seen the video from before. That's the real demo video, and what you're going to see today is just a little fun and some extra things that with tidbits about progress that we've made so far. So that being said, you can see we have managed to accomplish a bit here by hijacking our notes client, and this is the special Yellow Day skin that we've made. And yes, I know it's garish, that's the point. It's supposed to be silly. The production version does not actually look like this. But you can see we have done some interesting highlights now on the UI. We're doing a lot more with borders and rounded colors. You might even be able to tell there's some embossing of text going on there. Don't know how well that's going to come out on camera. But some fun modifications. Now you'll notice too that if I zoom back, that's the entire device. We have actually totally hijacked the notes client, and you can see down here at the bottom there's no status bar, right? And if we go up to the top, you'll see there's no title bar or tabs or menus or anything like that. It's completely the entire screen, the entire context of everything we have available. There's no switching out without a keyboard, and you can't do that via the touchscreen anymore. So that was a great thing to accomplish. We felt really good about that. So we were able to completely apply our own branding plugin, and this actually no longer runs the Notes C++ program at all. So, not that we love the Notes C++ program, we just don't need it. Everything is Notes on the back end. So if I switch my context here and I look at my Notes client, this, for example, is how we define all of our data sources through the system, and you'll see that we define things as direct, or driven from Notes, or driven from an external API, or retrieved via JDBC. So there's a lot of different ways that we now retrieve and manage data. We also have a complete abstract model for how we do the UI. So you can see we have a hierarchy here of different components, and they all piece together to define the different aspects of the system. My cell phone's going off in the distance, probably my wife. Some interesting things happen here if we zoom in on one particular piece. So this is the control for our subjective button, and we maintain the images as an attachment, and you'll see a lot of these things look like colors and so forth that are somewhat similar to CSS, and then we have things loosely coupled to various target namespaces and where things draw on the screen. So that's all just been the fun abstraction model that we've had to put into place to be able to produce all the different pieces of the overall system. And when we go back over here, if I want to look at something like the subjective portion now, and I want to say, okay, well, the patient's complaining of pain in the head, so I can select the head, and when I specify the exact location, I then get a narrowed set of relevant symptomatic elements and modifiers. And if I say, well, the patient's experiencing pain, you'll see that that automatically adjusted all the relevant modifiers, and things narrowed our lists automatically, so we can keep track of a lot of that stuff. You'll also notice as I move over to a different area of the system that there was an animation graphic that swept across. So we have a stronger sense of space within the system now, and we have, so if I want to switch over to objective measures, this of vitals is undergoing some heavy revisions right now, but you can see that we get nice sweeping of elements on and off these screens. So that's been really interesting to put together. And if we go to, remember our big list from last time. So the big list is the control where we have large enumerators, and you can flip it like this. And you might remember the slider, so you can slide and you'll see that now the letter only comes out on an as-needed basis. But probably the coolest is the new spinner. So when you get to the spinner and you spin, and if I zoom in here, you'll see the reflection stays stationary while the graphic spins around. So that's pretty cool. And this is all driven from a notes view, so it's still being just as fast, and it's all retrieved asynchronously. And if you want to see an interesting example of the asynchronous, you can watch as things kind of paint in, not necessarily in sort of a constant order, because we reflect stuff on the screen as it's retrieved. And then this is how we would prescribe a medication that we can prescribe. We can edit an existing prescription, or we can do a prescription starting off based on selected conditions. So you can see, we can say, here's the conditions we know about for the patient. So for backache, let's look at just the stuff that's relevant to backache, and that narrows our list down. So we could say, well, some of those are kind of unpleasant. Let's just go with a Vioxx tablet. And you can see we jump immediately to a nice large screen where we can specify a lot of stuff about exactly what we want to specify in the prescription. And this is undergoing heavy UI revisions right now too, to make it even simpler. One other thing that's kind of fun, and this is just a little demo widget that I use as a scratch pad, but I've been working on the new version of the number pad, so that's kind of cool. Alright. And we get a little more consistency between this and the rest of the interface as we go through. And those are the highlights right now. It's obviously a lot of work's been done on abstraction layers and really making things more flexible, and really accounting for a lot more about differences in workflow when people work with the system, and providing maximum flexibility. And of course, since it's all driven off an NSF, we can always replicate changes and distribute them globally. And that concludes our demo, and hope everybody had a great Yellow Day. Bye now.